So what we're going to do, we have
Welcome.
again copied an application. So now we have a breathing regulator and a flight regulator. And what we want to do is we want to make some unique changes to the flight regulator application. Now we have reduced the range for the inlet pressure to 60 and the outlet pressure to 2.5.
Individual tasks.
So we can
perform multi-task.
So all the task information is unique for a particular application. So we can modify this however we like. Instructions and errors and the whole test array, the primary array and secondary array, and all the results and parameters are all unique to this particular application. And again, we'll go into the project folder and we'll open up the flight regulator where all the unique files are, and you can see that the instructions, for instance, are unique. The instruments are unique. So say we wanted to, we have a data sheet here. And for the outlet pressure test, right now there are 6 subtests. And what we could do is modify to reduce the number. So say we want to only have 4. Say we want to have the 3rd one and the 6th one deleted. We could do that very easily by just we'll collapse that first and then start from scratch. So we have 2 primary arrays and then 3 secondary arrays, 1, 2, and 3. They correspond with 1, 2, and 3 here. So we just want to delete this 3rd secondary array. So we'll delete that. And then you reload the data sheet. Now we only have 5. And then within the second primary array, we would want to delete the 3rd secondary array. So it'll be this subtest right here. So we just delete that.
Data sheet.
And reload the data sheet. So now we have 4 subtests. And again, this is unique for this application. You go back to the breathing regulator, and that's going to have the original 6. It's unaffected once you copy an application like this. Reload it. So we're going to open up VSTA and just build the application or the macro, and it says down here build succeeded. So if it ever says build failed, all you do is simply just close down Hiatronic Development Suite and just reopen it. And the only time that may happen would be if you're copying an application and you're jumping between different applications. So it's very easy to fix. So you've built that, and then
perform all tasks.
Perform all tasks, and we're going to run it.
Enter username JO and enter serial number 1, 2, 3. Install part.
So now let's see, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 iterations. And then we're going to go to the next test, outlet flow test, and that hasn't changed.
All tasks passed.
Again, you can change this however you want. It has no association or link back to the breathing regulator application in terms of the task. All of this stuff is unique now. One thing that's worthy of note between when we're talking about unique and common files or objects is the PIDs and the calibration objects as well. So the PIDs and the calibration objects, what we do for that, how Hiatronic Development Suite handles the files and where it puts them is a little bit unique, and we'll explain that here. The project folder, breathing regulator part 7, has a folder, an application folder. So for one for breathing regulator, one for flight regulator, and then it has a shared files. In addition to that, it has a folder that's named. It's got the same name as the machine serial number. So we named in a previous tutorial exercise, we named the machine serial number 0001. And within that, we place several folders. So we place the calibrations and the PIDs in the database and the task data sheets within a serial number for the machine serial number folder. And the reason we do this is because Hiatronic Development Suite can be used for products. So, for instance, if you had a test stand product that you're, for instance, selling to the military, what you want to do is you want to have a project folder that's a controlled document or file that is unique to that entire product family. So for a particular breathing regulator test stand, for instance, you want to have the breathing regulator, flight regulator, and shared files. You want to have that unchanged for every machine that's produced. However, there's going to be certain things that are still unique to each individual machine. And that would be the calibrations, obviously, because every machine is going to have its instruments calibrated individually, and they're going to be different. And the database is going to be, that's going to be individually written by each machine. And the PIDs, typically PIDs for a machine, if it's a product, typically the machine is going to be pneumatically or hydraulically or electrically identical, but there may be differences. So it gives you the opportunity to individually tune the PIDs for each machine. And I'll demonstrate that. So if we go into apps and we modify the machine serial number, right now it's 0001, and we reassign that to 0002. And so we've reloaded the Hiatronic Development Suite. Now, as you can see, the machine serial number is shown right here as 0002. And we go into the tree view, and you go into the flight regulator, and now it doesn't have any PIDs shown, and within the instruments it doesn't have any calibrations shown. So what you would have to do is go into your project folder, and as you can see, a folder for the serial number 0002 has been created. However, it's empty. And then you have 0001. So for a new machine, what you'd want to what you'd be forced to do is copy this stuff and paste it. As a matter of fact, the database, you don't need to, you could delete that because it'll rewrite a new database starting from scratch. Same with the test data sheets. So if you want to reload that, you just right click and click reload, and now the PIDs are in there. And so, for instance, you could tune for another machine serial number and the PIDs, so they would be unique. So for this PID, we could change the integral constant to, I don't know, 0.654, something like that. Click OK, and then we're going to go in and we're going to change that back to machine serial number 0001, and
welcome.
Reload it. Again, you can see machine serial number 0001. Open up the flight regulator. And you look at the PID, and that's unchanged. And again, that is located within your project folder, the various machine serial numbers. So it's a very good way to control your set of files for an entire product family. It's very powerful. So again, these will not only be, well, these are going to be common. These folders right here and all the contents are going to be common between machines now. If you do in fact have a product family here, and then the machine serial numbers folders are going to have folders with unique items that are unique to the machine. So we've modified the new application that we created as required, and we have discussed the machine serial number and how that can be changed for different machines, and there's files that are associated uniquely with a particular machine, including the PIDs and the calibration objects. And that concludes this exercise.